going to turn on the other light. So
Okay,
go
sounds good.
right ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Good afternoon. Bonsoir. Bonjour, everybody. We are here back again to this wonderful broadcast for Empower You TV that we are always excited to be here on Wednesday with Coach Pat. She's, definitely not a stranger to this platform. She's definitely been helping us and really giving us very good conversation and engagement and clarity about different topics. So welcome, Coach Pat.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Thank you. Definitely, we are very excited to have you again in this platform. And today, we're going to be talking about subject of one subject that really many people struggle with, especially also leaders or just entrepreneur in general or business owners or just anybody. That's something that we would like to address and really having conversation around how fear can be able to affect people in different ways. It could be in your personal life, could be in your business, but today we're going to really addressing that issue as we started many conversation on this platform about the journey of an authentic leader. So one of the things that we like to address today, it's really fear and how it really affects you, how it affects me. So we're going to be taking some time to talk about that. Okay, Coach Pat, can you talk to us about that?
Well, the whole issue of fear is a pretty large one, and it's definitely connected to the topics that we've been talking about when we talk about what it is that you think and how your thinking affects what it is that you're able to deal with in life. And when you look at what it is that you think, it almost seems that people don't look at what it is that they fear. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
they seem to settle in on the positive talk that they say to themselves, and sometimes the negative talk as well. But when you really look at being able to be productive and you look at what it is that you think, if you kind of unravel that and you really begin to think about it, many times what's sitting in the middle of that is fear of some sort.
Yeah.
Fear that you're not going to be successful. Fear that you don't know everything there is to know about what it is that you're doing. Fear about what the next steps will be and whether or not you're going in the right direction. So fear seems to be a real part of life, if you will, for many people.
Mm-hmm.
And fear, again, is also part of what it is that you think, what it is that you're telling yourself. I cannot stress how important it is to begin to know yourself, to begin to understand what it is that you're telling yourself, what it is that you believe. Because again, as you begin to really understand yourself, you begin to look at fear. And you also begin to look at what it is that you're willing to allow to happen in your life. And that's something we can talk about the next time. Allow the positive things that will come your way. Because as long as you are fearful and as long as you are unsure, it's like being stuck in mud, if you will, in tar or whatever. You can't go anywhere if you're not sure, if you are fearful. You're not going to be able to make the kinds of decisions for yourself that you want to make, or the decisions that you make. And this is probably more the case. The decisions that you make, because they're based on fear, will be very limiting. They will not
That
take you to where you
mhm,
want to go. How can they? Because
yeah.
they're not full of hope or joy or certainty or any of those kinds of things.
Mm,
Fear,
I'm glad.
fear
Yeah.
makes you stop. It makes you uncertain. And if you're uncertain, how do you move forward and how do you produce anything?
Right. And that's what, before I even started this show, I was telling Coach Pat that sometimes fear really paralyzed you. And I think one of the things really mostly, what I've seen in my personal life or even with other people, when you have fear and you feel like sort of, you don't know, like you are not unsure, just like you said, but also even in order for you to move forward, you can feel it even in your decision on your way of really thinking, and automatically somehow um the decision becomes, well, what people would think. I've seen so many people struggle with that. What people think if I do this, or if I withdraw, or if I change my decision, what people would think. A lot of people will struggle with that, the opinion of others. And that I've seen many people stay on the same circle or the same position on the same for many years. It could be in a workplace. I've seen many people unhappy, but they don't do anything about it because of fear of security, of fear of what people do think, you know. And close ones, it's usually not people like strangers. They fear about people who are close to them, like family and friends, or
Yeah.
people who have known you all your life. And once you take the direction that not many people are really familiar with, what people would think. So that seemed to really affect a lot of people around me. I don't know about you, Coach Pat, but that's something I just wanted to add that when you say that.
Absolutely. And what other people think, I mean, it comes down to this real question. Are you willing to live your life based on what other people think, or are you willing to take a step outside
Mm-hmm.
and do what is important to you? And there's no right or wrong answer to that. There really
Right.
is.
Mm-hmm.
It is what you're willing to live with. Whatever your decision is, it's what you're willing to live with. There are going
Listen,
to
guys,
be
listen to what Coach
barriers.
Pat said. Listen to what she's saying. It's really up to what you are willing to live with. This is
Yes,
very key.
yes. Because if you decide to stay, then there will be that part of you that wonders what life would have been about if you had not
Yes.
stayed. And so
Mm-hmm.
there'll be a
Mm-hmm.
part of you that's not quite settled. And if you go against what everyone else is thinking, then you have to live with the fact that there's no one there that really supports the decision that you made. And that
Yes.
could create some unhappiness for you.
Right.
So it becomes a matter of what is the most important thing to you? What is it
Yeah.
that you can live with? What is it that you can live with? And
And mhm.
that should
And
inform your decision. Mhm.
right. And what is you can live with, and the
Yes,
second, and what if that you cannot live with. So it's
yes.
really the decision, it's really up to you, guys. Many of you guys are joining us. Thank you from Facebook and YouTube. Please join and share this broadcast, because this is very important for people who've been stuck or really struggle with the decision, what people would think if I move forward, what people would think if I change the direction from what I was thinking from the beginning. People really, really struggle with that because, again, we are human, but sometimes we are so really caught up on the idea of what people would think. It's almost like you were living for people, but unfortunately, many of us, that's really the situation that they really find themselves in. And like I was telling you, I was really just sharing earlier, many people, they're unhappy
Mhm.
with the workplace, they are unhappy with in the relationship, they are unhappy with their health, but they're not doing anything about it because of the fear. So that's really something that we are addressing today as a leader entrepreneur. That's something that you need to address and live with the decision. So it's really up to you. So Coach Pat, she's really, really giving us some good nuggets about how you can be able to make the decision for you, because it's really you that you're going to live with all the consequences. It's really you, nobody else. It's really you. And especially don't be afraid to make the unpopular decision, because it's really about you, nobody else.
Life is life. Life is living life. There's no such thing as a perfect life that everything is going to fall in place, everything is going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in making the choices, understanding that nothing will be perfect, that yes, you're going to meet with barriers, yes, you're going to meet with obstacles. What helps you to get through them is your belief in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That is what helps you get beyond that so that life does not become impossible for you. If you're living an impossible life, I'm going to tell you that at the center of that is you're probably not being authentic with yourself
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
about who you are. If your life is miserable, if things are just falling apart all around you, then it is probably because you're not living the truth of your life. And so, understanding that, what is there for you to fear, really? What is there really for you to fear if you know that there are always going to be barriers, always going to be obstacles, but that you'll be able to get past those,
Mm-hmm.
past them, if you are being authentic with yourself? Then what is there really to fear? Because the people who are going to support you are going to show up out of the blue. They're going to show
Yes.
up and they're
Yes, they
going to
will.
be there for you
Mm-hmm. so,
because
so
you're
Coach Pat,
living your authentic self.
yes. So, Coach Pat, how people overcome their fear and just step into what they believe in? Because we just talk about that. How people really step in and really listen and really follow what they really want to do.
Well, I'm going to say that actually I just gave you the answer. The answer is knowing. And because remember, all of this is around what it is that you believe, what it
Mm-hmm.
is that you tell yourself. So if you tell yourself, if you believe, if you understand that your life is going to improve, it's going to be better, if you are authentic with yourself, if you live what is meaningful to you, if you live what is meaningful and important to you, that
Yes.
your life will be better. It will be better. And if you can understand that and really believe it, then you will be able to move forward and you'll be able to have the kind of consequences that you desire. Your life will go in the direction that you choose. If you live in
Mm-hmm.
fear about what people think, about what people say, you're going to be stuck and you're going to be unhappy, truly unhappy. And so, again, you have to fully hear what I'm saying to you and
Mm-hmm.
know that what I'm saying really is the truth. It really is the truth.
Guys, you have
That
heard Coach
you
Pat.
get, and that you get to make the decision. You
Mm-hmm.
get to make the decision. And as I said, there's no right or wrong, but understand what you're doing is you're going with unhappiness versus happiness and joy.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And just remember, guys, many of you who are just join us. We are talking about fear and really how fear will affect us, and how can we really move in a direction of really going and live with what really meaningful for us. And Coach Pat just was just really beautifully saying that there's no wrong or right way. You just have to really live with the consequences. And one of the things I'm really urging you today, if you haven't done this exercise, really tonight, or even just whenever you have some quiet time, really start thinking about this as a leader, because you've been called to lead people by example. So they're gonna be watching you more than what you're saying. Your action really, really matter. So you've been listening to us. It's been a while. We come here every almost every day for this platform. That's why we're telling you today, take your time to really sit down and reflect on your own journey up to now. Like, what are you thinking, what are you telling yourself, and what are some of the beliefs that you have about you, about the direction that you're going. And just like Coach Pat said, there's no right or wrong answer, but just you are the one who's going to live with the consequences if you are happy or or continue to be unhappy. And it will be in any sectors of your life, but really be the person who's going to um, make sure that you are really happy with the process, or not happy with the process, but with the situation that you are lived in, or you need to do something about it.
Yeah.
So, guys, make sure that you're living with a very meaningful life. I like that. I really love, because that's something that's it's very important for you to
Yeah.
really question, watch up till now, like really having a reflection about as a leader, as a mother, as a sister, as a business owner, as just a person, a human being, how you've been living so far, and all those decisions you've been taking so far until now. Are you happy with that? And if you are not, these are the tools that we are giving you today. So don't continue again. Don't live like to us. Oh, I will do that when I'm going on vacation, so I will have time to reflect. No, you don't need quite. You only need few minutes to reflect, so you can be able to start changing some of the part if you want to change that. Because again, we want you to have a very healthy and meaningful life. Yes, Coach
And,
Pat.
and a meaningful life means in all areas, your
Yes,
personal life, your work life, your
that's
business
right.
life. Once you can find a way to be truthful with yourself about who you are, that is
Mm-hmm.
what all of this is about. It's not about
Yes.
finding you wrong and saying, oh, why did you do that? I'll slap your hand because, that was a bad choice or a bad decision. It's not about any of that. It's about you being able to see who you are, and
Mm-hmm.
how you have been living. And if the way you've been living is wonderful and your needs are being met, then great. But if not, then take a look at that. Take a look at what it
Yeah.
is that you truly believe, and whether or not you're willing to take ownership for what is
Mm-hmm.
in your
Yes.
life
Ownership.
right
Yes.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Ownership. Because in the end, It is what you think and what you believe and what you are telling yourself that has formed your life. And that is the truth. It has
Yeah,
formed your life.
Coach, but you mentioned something very important. It's what you believe and what you're telling yourself. Can you tell us more about, there are some of the language are really now verbal that we are telling ourselves, it's our, in our mind, because definitely there are some people out there that say, well, I don't tell myself that I'm not enough, but you living it. Like your life is an example that in your mind, that's what you believe, even though you're not saying it. So
Mhm.
maybe we can also talk about, some of the non-verbal, communication or thoughts that we are feeding ourselves.
Well, awareness of how you're feeling. If you're feeling something inside that's not really positive or joyful, that's when you actually need to stop and take
Yes.
a minute and ask yourself, well, where is that coming from? Why am I feeling like this?
Mm-hmm.
And you sit in that for a moment or so and see what comes to you. Because there's a side of yourself that does know, that absolutely knows. The thing is we've never been trained to
That's,
listen to that
yes.
part of ourselves that is
Mm-hmm.
always talking to us, that is always trying to steer us in the direction of happiness, if you will. And so look at when you're not feeling really up to par, ask yourself what that's about.
What
But
about?
also listen to how you talk about yourself, how you talk about other people as well, situations that you're in. What's the language that you use? Are you using really negative language around all of that? Or are you able to see it as, okay, well, that's just life. That's what happens. And
Yes.
you go on with the fact that that is life. Even if it's something that isn't wonderful, it doesn't need to be wonderful,
Mm.
but you can look at it and you can hear what it is that you're telling yourself. What are you telling yourself? That it is the worst thing that's ever happened. This is a disaster. Are you saying
All
that
those
to yourself?
words. Yeah,
Or
all
are you
those words.
saying,
Mm.
uh, well, this is not the best thing that's going on, but stuff like this happens in life. As long as you're with other people, things are
Yes.
going to happen. They're not always going to be positive.
Mm-hmm.
And you recognize that and you see it as just another aspect of life,
Mm.
all part of living in the world and being with other people. So, what is it that you're telling yourself?
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because many of us don't think that our feelings, it's really a language that really also telling us what we should really also be examining. What are we telling our,
Yes,
because many people, they don't, well, it's a feeling, but it's a language that you should discover what it's telling you, especially
yes,
you mentioned the word. Well, I've heard so many people, and sometimes too, I catch myself saying that, well, it is what it is. So sometimes I like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I couldn't like, Jeanine, no. I always reflect. So I have to go back and say, no, it's not, it is what it is. So those are the language that we want you to pay attention, guys. Your
mhm,
words, the feeling that you always need to go back and start examining. Say, what am I telling myself? It is what it is. What's that mean? It is what it
right.
is. Or, for example, they say, well, yeah, I know. No, you don't. Like, just examine that.
Yeah.
or whether, so
Because,
that to brush stuff like that, it's now, yeah,
yeah.
you need to address that.
Feelings, I'm a firm believer that most people think that the mind is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I think that everything starts in the body, in what it is that you're feeling. And then
Mm-hmm.
what it is that you're feeling transfers to what you think.
That's
I
right.
believe that things start in the body and you get the emotion, you get the feeling, and then you either take a look at the feeling, or as you say, oh, well, it's not important, or it is what it is. That's neglecting an important
Yes.
part of yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And we
Neglect.
cannot afford to ignore what it is that we feel inside of our bodies by telling ourselves something else entirely. It's like disrespecting yourself.
It is. That's
So
why.
you come to respect all aspects of yourself. You start off with
Mm-hmm.
your feelings and getting
Right.
in touch with what that is about. And then you have your thought. Then you think through and have that conversation. But you cannot ignore what
Mm-hmm.
your feelings are telling you. You cannot ignore.
Right. And that's what myself and Coach Pat are telling you guys, don't ignore all those feelings because it's really a language. And
Mhm,
also that's how, when you address that, that's where you also start getting the confidence of who you are,
mhm.
after really having a reflection. Because today we really want you to address the fear, or what are you telling yourself, but also to gain confidence and just move of that, in that direction of what you think, that you believe, that who you are.
Mhm.
So we want you to really gain in confidence, but the only way you can be able to get confidence as an authentic leader, or as an entrepreneur, or just in direction that you believe that this is the way I should go, even though it's really unpopular, you need that could help you to gain confidence and really
Yeah.
start say, yeah, I think I can do it. This is the direction I'm going, even though I don't see the clear projection of the end of the tunnel, but just I'm gonna, this is the direction, and you just take it, you take the risk to just go for it.
Yes. I know that one of the things that's really important to me is that I relate to people in a positive manner.
Yes.
And I believe that living a loving life is very important. So when I am in a situation, like I'm in a car and someone has done something really outrageous, or I'm in any situation where someone has treated me
Yeah.
in a really negative manner, does
Hmm.
that mean that my first thought is always a loving thought? No. There
No.
are times when I'm in that car when I am so angry, when I am so negative about whoever the person is that did whatever they did.
Yes.
Do I cut off my emotions and feelings? I'm aware of them, of course. I'm aware that I'm feeling negative in the moment. So, do you know what I do? I allow myself to feel negative in the moment. It's very
Yes.
real.
But
They
I'm
did
glad you said
something.
the moment. I'm glad you
Yeah,
say it's a moment. Yeah.
in the moment. Yes.
It's
And I
not a
don't try to
journey.
sweep it under the rug. I
Right.
allow myself to be really angry. And I
Hmm.
may even think something really ugly and really nasty. And I allow myself the right to feel that way. And then I laugh at myself and I say, okay, so you vented, you know how you feel, you said how you feel. Are you good now? And sometimes My answer is no, I'm not finished yet. I'm still really angry about this.
Yes,
And
yes,
so I allow myself whatever time. It's not like it goes on for hours and hours or days and days. I don't know.
yeah.
That's not what I do. And then I have a good laugh at myself and say, okay, feel better now. And then I laughingly say, yep, I got that off my chest. I'm good to go. And
See,
then
and
I'm
that's
fine.
good. That's very good, Coach Pat. Yes, we need
And
to
then
allow
I'm good.
ourselves.
I
Hmm.
didn't rant at the person or do anything ugly like that, but I didn't ignore my feelings. I didn't ignore what was happening inside of me. I let it play itself out, and then I was good. I was
See,
good.
I'm glad that you did it. But for me, whenever I'm in that moment, yeah, I can allow myself to really. I don't scream or I don't go
Right?
crazy, but I allow myself. For me, I have to call somebody that I trust to be
Uh-huh.
able to vent. To
Mm,
me, that's my process. Like
okay.
I have to call. I have very few people that I really and I can be able to just the person to listen. Not to, I'm not asking for advice right now. Just listen. And usually that person really okay, Jenny. So I just listen and listen, and it just it helps me a lot to,
Mhm.
and sometimes I cry, which we need to allow ourselves, because
Yep.
sometimes I don't know about you, Coach Pat, but sometimes when I'm angry I cry because I need to release that energy. Say, okay, and
Uh-huh.
after that I'm fine, and then I
Yep.
can be able to really resonate and say, okay, Jeanine, you already calm down. You already will have your moment, and
Right?
now yeah, let's think about this too. And it's normal, guys. So
Yeah.
we don't want you to hold stuff in, and whatever the process you choose to, you can do that. Coach Pat does, like she definitely allow herself, and so, but for me I call somebody that I really trust and then be able to talk through. So
Hmm.
guys, I would love us to continue, but we were gonna continue this our next Wednesday. We're talking about allowing, definitely. So we're gonna talk about that, and also continue to how you build your confidence. You continue to build your confidence. So we want you guys to come back again next Wednesday. We're going to talk about allowing yourself really and to be able to continue to build up your confidence.
Right.
Thank you so much, Coach Pat. That was amazing.
Thank
We didn't want
you.
to,
Thank
we're going
you.
to stop, but these are the things that all of us need to hear every day so we can continue in our journey that we think that this is how we're supposed to be going, and this is the direction that you're supposed to be in. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for giving us some clarity and really guidance about and addressing this topic about fear. So thank you so much.
Yes.
And
It's
thank you
always
guys
my pleasure.
who are here with us. You have any question or comment, please put in a comment box and we will be able to address them every time we look at the comment. And that's why we come with all these different topics, because many of you always inbox me. It's okay to inbox me, but you can put in a comment right there, okay? So we really thank you guys. Merci beaucoup encore de se connecter à nous. Aujourd'hui, on a parlé de la peur. Comment est-ce que la peur vraiment paralyse des gens? Et c'est important que nous ayons parlé de ça, parce que souvent tu as une idée de la direction, de la direction que tu veux prendre, mais tu as peur. Tu te dis, mais qu'est-ce que les gens vont dire? Donc aujourd'hui, nous avons parlé de la peur et que tu dois vraiment t'examiner et dire, est-ce que c'est la direction dont je veux prendre, et comment est-ce que ça t'impacte toi, parce que c'est ta vie et nous voulons que tu puisses vraiment réfléchir en tant qu'un leader authentique. Et merci beaucoup. On va encore continuer à parler de ce même sujet le mercredi prochain. Merci beaucoup. Thank you, Coach Pat, and
Thank
many of
you.
you who join us today. We thank you. And if you have any questions, again, continue to put in the box and we will continue our topic again next Wednesday. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.